Whoa, that's bright. Maybe we'll turn that off for now. Oh. Okay. Not sure. How to monetize this. It let me earlier, but I'm not sure how to do it now. Oh, she's a wee bit muggy out. We had and still are having a fair amount of rain. So we had some incredible heat for almost 3 weeks straight without a drop of rain. And then, yeah, now we got rain and now it's humid and moist. Oh, there's something on my screen. Anyway, just kind of waiting for maybe a few more people to show up. See how this goes. I tried going live, what was it? About a week or so ago. And I think one person came on. I didn't stay on very long. I think I was on for like literally a couple minutes. It was a last minute thing and I hadn't put it out there at all, but anyway, I didn't stay on very long because nobody was around. Anyway, but we're here tonight. So yeah. I know she's been a little bit, especially since we how's it going, Craig? It's been a little bit since we did a live video, and sure is fixing to cut some oats and peas down here. Ooh, oats and peas, nice. Are you guys getting the rain down there? Because we are getting some pretty good rain here. It started this morning, on and off kind of throughout the day, and then since about 5, I would say, it's been raining pretty steady. The garden is it's doing not too bad. Like I was saying, it's been really dry, so we ended up watering it, and we kind of maybe overwatered it there for a little bit. So we ended up letting it dry out, and now we're just letting Mother Nature kind of water it for right now. But yeah, it's doing all right. But yeah, it's not awesome. But yeah. So the rain is definitely a nice welcome for right now. Like I said, we've been incredibly dry, so having this little bit of rain that we've been getting is good. We are done haying. Woohoo! We finished baling up the last of it yesterday, and let's see, yeah, we finished baling up yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. We finished cutting on Sunday. Yeah, and then we were able to bale it up on Tuesday. Yeah. So yeah, it was good. I think, what did we end up cutting? We cut maybe 10 acres or so. It wasn't very much. And then we ended up, yeah, baling it up in just a few hours there yesterday afternoon. It was maybe a little bit on the tough side, but not too bad. It was definitely bailable, but I knew that the rain was supposed to be coming this morning, so I had to get it baled. Anyway. Oh, okay. So no rain yet. Oh. How have you guys been doing for rain though down there? Because like I said, for about 3 weeks there, we went pretty much nonstop, just 30-degree weather every day and some wind, but no rain. So, but it sounds like the mainland, they made out not too bad. Bruce Mines, that area seems like they didn't do too bad this year. It sounds like they had a good hay crop. We ended up with 472 bales on the counter. That's the round bales, and covering the same amount of acres. Last year we ended up with just over 900. So literally 50% of the crop that we ended up with last year, which not good. It really sucks. Nothing you can do. We put on the same amount of fertilizer. We fertilized all the hay fields like we always do. We actually even had rain the day after we put all the fertilizer on. And I even went over the fields, 2 days after I harrowed, or after I fertilized, I harrowed all the fields. And we still ended up with literally a 50% crop. So yeah, big time sucks, but not much you can do. And it sounds like, I mean, in talking to all the other guys here, everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's running that, 50 to 60% range. So anyway, what do you do? But, and where we are, we don't ever plan on getting second cut, better second half, hopefully. Yeah, no, we don't really get a second cut here. Maybe on new seeding, you might be able to, but like as for the hay crops, like old hay fields, which is all I'm running, you don't really ever get a second cut off of them. So not a big deal. What else? Yeah, it sucks, but everything went good though this year. We made her through the season without any big hiccups, no major breakdowns. The biggest thing was I spent a couple hours one morning working on the swather. I couldn't cut anyway. It was pretty dewy out that morning. Spent a couple hours working on it. I changed the bolts on I don't know, I was going to call it the flywheel, but it's not the flywheel. It's like the big drive wheel belt that drives the, oh frig, I can't think of anything right now. Drives the, oh frig, I don't even know what I'm talking about. That brings the hay into the cutter bar. Anyway, it was missing 2 of 4 bolts and the other 2 were loose. So I was really glad that I caught that, because had I started cutting that day with it the way it was, I probably wouldn't have made it through the day. And when she broke, she would have broke pretty bad. So I was really glad I caught that. So that was just a matter of running to the store, grabbing bolts, coming back, changing them out. Not a big deal. It wasn't a hard job, wasn't a big issue, but it could have definitely have been pretty devastating. But anyway, we got her done. I got the parts. I ordered parts for the gearbox that drives the cutter bar. It started leaking there a couple of years ago. The gear oil over winter, it would leak out maybe half a liter or so of gear oil. So I had ordered the parts this year, not knowing how bad it was progressing, but I made it through this year with, I think, adding once, and I added like a cup. So It's not that bad of a leak as I thought maybe it was. So I have the parts here, the seals. It's like a felt washer and an O-ring and a dust seal. So it's just a matter of dropping a bolt and putting them on, I think. So now that season's over, I'll probably take some time and look at that, try and get that stuff switched out before next year. Get that done while I'm thinking about it. The baler, Dad and I changed out one of the main bearings last year because the year before it was starting to heat up. So we took it off, and when we took it off, it was a good thing we did because I believe it was the outer race of the bearing was actually cracked. So it was going, and so I was glad that we got that off, changed. But then we ended up bailing with it some more and found that the bearing never really cooled down. So I don't know why that one bearing runs hotter than all the other ones, even the same bearing on the opposite side on the same roller. But it runs hot. And I shouldn't say I don't know why. Inside the bail chamber, there's maybe a half-inch gap between it's a square roll, and then it's got a round shaft and the bearing. Anyway, there's maybe a 3/8 gap between the roller and the bearing, and for some reason the hay just gets jammed up, wrapped around in there. So I think that has a lot to do with it. The hay gets in there, and then of course it heats up, it heats the bearing. So we're thinking maybe we'll try and take a look at that, maybe even next year, I don't know, and see if there's not something we can do to try and keep the hay from getting in there. I don't know why the hay gets in there. It doesn't really get in. It does the odd time on the other side, but for some reason it's just that one side that gets really bad. But anyway, I'm going to take some time here and read some of these comments. Okay, so you guys got that rain. Yeah, my brother in Sudbury, he ended up getting that rain. I think they ended up even getting some hail. But we didn't see any of that. I shouldn't say we didn't see any of that. We saw the clouds. It was to the east of us, but we didn't see any of the moisture. That's for sure. Everybody was hoping for it, but we didn't end up getting anything. So, which for me, it worked out okay because I was right in the middle of haying, and rain at that point way too little, too late. So I was definitely happy to see all the dry, hot weather because for rain for me meant really nothing other than pastures. So I see somebody just hit the thumbs up button. If you guys don't mind hitting that thumbs up button, doesn't cost you anything, helps me out a lot, lets everybody else know that we're out here alive and well. So yeah, it could have been a lot worse than it turned out. Yeah, it's been really weird, the weather this year. Like in the last week or so, they've been calling for a lot of thunder showers, thunderstorms, whatever you want to call them, and literally it never rained exactly where I am. It actually rained at the south end of the island. The north end of the island actually got rain one morning, and we'd be out in the fields and you could literally see, this great big, just black cloud coming for us. And, we figured, well, this is it, we're going to get rained on, and just kept working through the day. And literally the black cloud would either just go to the east or the west, and that would be it. It never touched us, never affected us. So, yeah. Oh, well. But, yeah, we were up in the pasture there today. We took up a couple corral panels. We got those set up. we're gonna hopefully maybe tomorrow try and get the bull. We rented a bull this year, so we're gonna try and get him into that pen and then get him on the trailer and take him back to his house. So yeah, so we got the panel set up, made the little pen there tonight. Yeah. But are you eating pie without me? Jess went strawberry picking on Monday and got what, 60 some pounds of strawberries. So yeah, we've been eating quite a few strawberries. And she made, I don't know how many different freezer jam, cooked jam, pies, froze them. Marnie Stewart popping on to say hello. About to watch a movie on the. No, we've been trying to sleep at night. I heard the coyotes one night up the blind line, but yes, it would. Too bad there's just not enough. Oh man. Anyway, what else did we want to go over? You're just here for pie. I know. We were heading back from the Sioux yesterday, and when we were coming by Echo River, we noticed that somebody's baler was all burnt up out in the field. So they obviously didn't have a very good day. And it was like maybe 50 yards from the Echo River. So I don't know. Should have backed her down into the river. No, you can't. But the banks are a little bit too steep, too deep. But yeah, anyway. That's always one of the biggest concerns when you're out baling hay, is that something's going to go wrong and you end up catching fire, but can't live in fear. See you later, Martin. Oh, I think I went over this. I don't know if I went over this already, but we ended up getting our implement shed all fixed up. We got it all jacked up, got that job done. We poured a little pad inside. Actually, I did post a video about that, I guess. So if you guys have seen that, I apologize because I'm just repeating myself. But yeah, we got a nice little pad poured inside, just for like a little work area. We got to build a little wall in there for hanging stuff up on and that. But anyway, turned out good. Implement shed turned out good. We got it raised up between 6 and 8 inches overall. So all the bottom beams are out of the dirt, and some of the rotten ones we ended up replacing. So that went good. Glad to get that done. We ended up getting it done just in time, because then we ended up doing hay and getting, what did we put, almost 300 square bales in the one end of the implement shed. So yeah, which is that I wanted to get that job done before we ended up getting hay in it, because yeah, once you get hay in it, a little bit harder to try and work around in there. So anyway, glad to get that done. Took and fixed up the one hay wagon this year. Last year I put a new deck and beams on it, and when I did that, it ended up needing spacers in between the metal crossers on the, like, I guess axles you could call them, on the hay wagon, and the 8x8 to give it enough space between the decking and the tire. Because if I just put the 8x8 on the axles, the decking was rubbing on the tires. So last year I just took 2 chunks of 2x6, so I added 4 inches of clearance, and I just worked like that last year with wooden blocks underneath. But of course, every time you go through a ditch or something and it twists and turns, those blocks come off. And I did have them screwed, legged in from the side, but of course, every time you go through a ditch and that, it all kind of goes Catawampus and Catawampus, whatever. And one of the blocks ended up busting off, so it just was kind of a quick fix last year. So then this year, I ended up chaining up the deck, lifting it off with the tractor, beams and all, and I ended up taking and welding some 3-inch risers on it with some C-channel at the side, drilled holes, kitty corner, bolted them in. So now she's all perfect. Not that I've used it. Like I said yesterday, we just finished up baling, and today it was raining, so I didn't go around and collect any of the hay, any of the round bales off the field. But that's the last job to do, is go around and get those all picked up and put them in the hay yard, so that we are ready for winter. We did get a call. Our lime is supposed to be coming in the next week or two. So yeah, that'll be good. We've only been waiting 3 years for that to come onto the farm. So yeah, so we got 80 tons of that stuff coming. Yeah, so that'll be good. So once that gets here, my in-laws actually planted the 2 fields that I'm going to be putting it on, and they got sorghum planted. So once they get the sorghum taken off, my plan is to get that sprayed with Roundup. Both those fields, I think it's about 20 acres. Get that 20 acres sprayed, get the weeds killed, and then hopefully we can start hauling manure from the house here up onto the field and get that out while it's still dry. Every year I've always fought with it, trying to do it in the fall when it's all wet and you're getting stuck and it's just miserable. So last year, in one of my fits of rage, I was like, why the frig am I not doing this in the middle of summer when it's dry? So that is my plan. Once I get it sprayed, I'll wait a few days and then start hauling the manure up there, get the lime, rent the lime spreader, spread the lime on the fields, and then I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to cultivate it in or just disc it in. But anyway, we got to try and get that stuff worked in. And then we will, go from there. No, I didn't put any baling or cutting videos up this year. I've done it in the past. And our camera ended up getting squashed by the cows this spring, when we were working them, trying to get them ready to be AI'd. So the camera fell off fence post into the crowd where the cows were. I didn't realize it until I heard a crunch, looked over, realized my camera was gone. And by the time I got over there, there's part of it. So that little gold thing was supposed to be attached to a screen, and yeah. Anyway, so there's like a $300-400 camera just smashed. But we do have one that we are looking at on Amazon, so we are hoping to have that hopefully in the next couple weeks. But yeah, that's a bit of an investment. It's another $300-400 camera. But you guys are worth it, right? So no, I didn't do any videos this year of the cutting, but I have in the past. If you want to check those out, you can. I run the same equipment as in those videos, but yeah, so it was good. Seen a couple fawns this year, kind of switching over to hunting, I guess you could say. Oh, did you? Just seen a Dona fawn, chase them out of the horse pen. I've seen a few fawns this year. I've seen 4 different ones, that is, just on our place. So that's pretty good. I didn't see any bucks last year. I was jumping a few bucks in the one field there. There was like a ditch, and of course all the reed canary was growing down in there, and they must have been staying down in there all summer, because when I did the outside opening rounds, they came running out of there, And then when I went and bailed, they came running out of there. And then when I went to cut the rest of the field a week or so later, they came running out of there. So obviously they were hunkering down. There was 3 of them. And I actually ended up shooting the one in bow season and got that on camera. So if you guys want to check that video out, it would have been last October, I think. Yeah, October. Yeah, it was good. Got it all on film, which is pretty cool. Self-filmed hunt. But yeah. Just finished up doing a little bit of a stint there, doing some beaver trapping too. Highways, and both highways and the township had called me in. So we did 2 spots for the highways and 2 spots for the township. Picked up a couple beavers at every single spot, actually. And yeah, so that worked out good. Something to do kind of in the evenings or early in the morning before we were able to get into the fields. So that was good. I think, what did we end up with? Oh man, it was quite a few beavers actually. Because the one spot I think I got, 5 from. So it was pretty good. Always enjoy that kind of trapping. It's as easy as you can get, pretty much. It's right on the side of the road in the ditch, so you don't have to walk anywhere. You don't have to do a whole lot. Other than the one spot there was giving me some pretty good troubles. I don't know if the landowner, because I'm restricted to just the road allowance. So I don't know if the landowner had been trying to trap the beavers in the swamp or just what, but man, I had one heck of a go there, but I finally got them. But I ended up I always use just 330 Conibears on a caster mount, make a caster mount and catch them that way. But this year, or this one spot, they would not go in, so I ended up having to use footholds on a drowning wire. So yeah, finally caught them that way, but whew, took a lot more work than it should have. But all right, Rock Breaker, we'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by and chatting, and thanks for watching the videos. We'll see you later. And good luck fishing tomorrow. Anybody else throwing something on the chat there? I got 5 people watching and nobody chatting. Fur harvesters is supposed to be oh yeah, that's Jess. Fur harvest is supposed to be having a auction at the end of August, I believe. So I was checking into that. Should be good. I think I got, what do I got? 20-some coyotes in that auction. The shipment of furs that I just shipped, what was it, about a month or so ago? I haven't got the grades on them yet, but yeah, hopefully those will be posted soon. It's always interesting to see what kind of grades he ended up getting. All the coyotes this year that I trapped, they did not grade very good, which I knew when I was skinning them that I was not going to end up with very good quality this year. They were prime. They were all caught December, January, February, and the later ones I caught in March. Now, those ones are the ones that I just sent out, so those will be interesting to see what they grade at. The fur actually seemed in better shape, better quality than the earlier ones, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they grade at. But I knew when I was trapping in December, January, and February, the ones I was putting them up, I could tell that they were just coarse. I don't know. I don't know why, but they just weren't great quality at first. And of course, it showed in my grading, which showed in how much I made off of them. So that kind of sucked. But anyway, it is what it is. Something I like doing, like trapping them, and it's always good to get rid of the local coyote population. So one thing I did notice this year, there's not many turkeys around. I haven't been seeing a ton of, like, normally, you see quite a few hens, and each hen has 20, 30 little ones or whatever, but this year it just seems like there's not many of them around. I don't know if, I would think they'd be out, but I don't know if they're just not out and about yet or just what. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway. Average price for beaver and coyote pelts these days. It all depends on, and I know this is going to sound weird, but it all depends on where the animals are caught. But where I am in Northern Ontario, the average for coyote pelts is going to be, I would say, in that $75 range, let's say, on average. Beavers, between $8 and $10 on average. Now these are all, like, those would be, prime pelts. If you caught that beaver under ice, that's what you'd be getting. And if you caught that coyote in, late December, early January, that's, and it all depends on the market. It fluctuates crazy. There was, I've got coyotes, almost up to $200. But then I've also had, not great quality ones that I get like $10 for. So yeah, there's a huge difference there. And beavers, I haven't trapped beavers for the pelt. The beavers that I talked about trapping are strictly nuisance ones for the roads. So I don't do anything with those beavers. I'm catching them in July. Like, they're, even if I put them up and sold them, I'd be lucky if I got 50 cents for them. If that, they'd probably just throw them out. So I don't do beavers, but I do see the auction results and that for the beaver prices. So, but yeah, to me to justify to go after beavers, it just wouldn't be worth it. I get paid because they're a nuisance. So then, it's definitely worth it that way. But to go after them in the winter or whatever, on private property and go after them for their pelts, it doesn't make any sense to me. Now, with that being said, their casters, the scent gland on them is very valuable. Because beaver pelts are so low, not as many people are trapping beavers. But the byproduct of a beaver, one of them is their casters, and there's a huge market for caster. And so because people aren't catching the beavers, there isn't, the market isn't being met. The demand isn't being met in the caster market. So the caster prices are right up there. For grade 1, I think they're almost at $100 Canadian a pound. So all the nuisance beavers, I do take the casters out of, because the casters, it doesn't matter whether they're prime or not. There's, you know what I mean? There is scent gland. So there's no discrimination there as to whether or not you caught it in January or July. There is grades of caster, grade 1, 2, and 3. But that has to do more with how well the caster is put up, how well it's dried, and so forth. So anyway, yeah. Can't think of anything else. We butchered our meat birds. That was what? No, yeah, 3 weeks ago. It was just before haying season, actually. We ended up doing our meat birds up. We had what, 36, 37 of those. So we ended up doing those up. They turned out good this year. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for asking, actually. But yeah, so we did that, and oh, Dwayne Lazar, buddy, how's it going? You're buffering. I'm probably buffering. I don't know. I don't know exactly what buffering means. I think it cuts in and out, but anyway, I know our internet sucks and the video quality on this laptop sucks, so I've been told it's pretty grainy, but it's the best I can do, man. It is what it is. Yeah. How did you make out on your coyotes this year? Did you end up selling any, or are they still being held? Hopefully you sold some. But yeah, so we got our meat birds done up and they turned out good. We got our pig this year. It's growing good. It's got a pretty big back end on it. So looking forward to doing it up on in September, October, sometime then, once the weather cools down and we can let it hang for a little bit. That's good to hear, man. Glad to hear. But yeah, so sounds like the rain's starting to let up there now, so be good. Let things dry out a little bit. Not that we need it. We could use another inch of rain. It'd be nice if it rained all night. For the meat birds, we buy the feed. The meat birds stay strictly in a pen in the barn, and we do buy what is it, poultry grower, I think. So yes, 36, 37 birds do go through a lot of feed. So there's, you got a pretty big overhead price there, along with oh, Jess wants me to show you the dog. This is Squinty, Squints. I call him Squinty. I don't know if you can see, but he only has one eye. There's his bad eye. There's his good eye. And by bad eye, I don't mean like bad. I mean, it's just not there. He was born that way. But he still got one good one. And because he was born that way, he doesn't know any different. So he's just a Jack Russell. He's what, 5 months old, somewhere around there. So anyway, that's Squint. And he stinks right now because he was outside in the rain. But yeah, so there's a pretty good overhead cost in the chicken feed, and then of course you have the purchase price of the chicks. You buy them as chicks, and then you raise them the 8 weeks or whatever. So there is a bit of an overhead cost, but we butcher them and process them ourselves. So when it comes to that part, there's no cost. I shouldn't say there's no cost. Obviously, you got to put them in a bag. But I mean, we just buy freezer bags, and I mean, you buy like 100 for, I don't know, $10 or something like that. So there's not really a cost there. And then, of course, we're not paying ourselves to do it. It's for our own use. So we save a lot of money there, because if you were to take a bird to the abattoir and get him butchered, yeah, I think it's up to $8 now, just to get him killed and processed and in a package. So that's an extra $8 a bird on top of the feed. So we're saving ourselves the $8 a bird. So yeah, that's like almost $400 for that many birds. which I mean, to me is just crazy. I'm lucky. I'm glad that we can do things like that ourselves. Otherwise, to be honest, I don't know if it would be worth, I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't think. I know it wouldn't be worth to raise birds like that and then have to pay somebody to process them, the $8. No, it wouldn't be worth it. Even by doing it ourselves, I've never put pen to paper and figured out exactly what it costs per bird to raise them and the initial cost of the bird itself. But it's something that we enjoy doing, and with our family. I mean, if you go to the store and buy a whole chicken, I don't know what they cost. I think you can buy freaking a whole chicken for, I think, as cheap as like $5. Now, you're not going to get as big a bird as the ones that we produce for $5. The ones that we produce in a grocery store, you're probably going to pay more like $10. So by the time you look and factor into the feed cost and that, we would probably be right around that range, I'm thinking. So, and you're also producing a bird that you know what went into it. Not that I'm a huge, I'm not a huge person that's like into all that, knowing where my meat comes from. I do like knowing where my meat comes from, but I mean, I'd buy chicken from the store. I don't overly care that much. $8 is a lot per bird for processing. Yes, it is. The thing in our area is there is a company that owns the abattoir right now, and they are also they have their own feedlot, so they supply their own meat. So they pretty much bought out the abattoir so that they could process their own stuff. And the way that they've kind of screwed over all the local people is by jacking up the price, just retarded. And so it's really hurt the local guys here, because obviously nobody can really afford to take stuff. Cows, chickens, ducks, you name it. It's just retarded. Anyway, I don't really want to get into that. But anyway, it is what it is. And yeah. And the pig. The pig eats, I'll tell you exactly what the pig eats. We don't buy like a pig grower or pig feed. What we do is we harvested our own oats last year. So the pig gets a mix of oats and goat's milk. Jess soaks the oats in goat's milk. So it gets that every day. Plus, this time of year, between the fruits and vegetables that our kids and us go through, plus I have some family members that, stockpile the pigtail, if you will. It gets a lot of food scraps from the garden and just all that stuff, right? Table scraps, you name it, the pig eats it. So that is literally all the pig gets: oats, milk, and food scraps. The odd time we let the pig out, so it does graze on grass, I guess, a little bit. We do give it a little bit of hay, but as for bringing in an outside feed, no, we don't bring any outside feed in for it. Now, we were just talking actually today, funny enough, that we might end up trying to finish off the pig. So maybe the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks of its life before we butcher it. We may start buying some pig feed just to finish it off. So what that means is you kind of just give it that extra last little bit of fat, gives it a little bit maybe better taste, and so it's a little more investment, but you get a little bit better meat out of it. So anyway, that's the whole. Oh, and obviously, if you watch the channel at all, you would know that we process our own pigs. So there's no cost there once again. Again, I mean, obviously, yes, you have to wrap it up in packing paper, but you can buy a roll of packing paper that's like, I don't know, 10,000 feet long. 18 inches wide for, I don't know, $30 or something like that. So we've wrapped up, I don't know how many cows, pigs, and you can't even look at the roll and tell that we used any off of it. So yeah, that's going to last, I wouldn't say a lifetime, but a few lifetimes of the cows and the pigs anyway. The chicken manure definitely goes on the garden. We also have a little apple orchard and some trees around the yard. Jess also has blueberry patch and raspberry patch and asparagus. So she definitely, when we clean out the chicken pen, she tries to get all the chicken manure onto those smaller plants, the apple trees and the fruit rows. And then any extra definitely goes on to our vegetable garden. But yeah. The pig we try and do around the 225 pound mark. Between 225 and 250 it usually ends up being. But exactly, it really all depends. It's not so much the weight for us. It all depends on temperature, because of where we live, and I don't have a cooling unit yet. That's something that we would really like to invest into, is making a cooling unit. So whether it be like a little butchering shop with like some sort of a air conditioner in it. We're not just sure. But anyway, we don't have anything like that right now. So we have to rely on Mother Nature to keep things cool for us. So I have a bit of a butchering area set up in my garage. And so it's got to be cool enough in the evenings and not getting hot in the day before we end up processing anything like that. The chickens is okay to do kind of anytime, because that's very quick, right? You're not letting them hang. You're doing it outside. You kill the chicken, you're processing it, you're putting it in an ice water bath right away. So it's submerged in water, flies can't get on them. And then you're taking them out, you're packaging them, and you're putting them right in the freezer. So those can be done anytime. But when it comes to the pigs and the cows, the bigger animals that you have to let hang, which you don't have to let hang, but they're a big enough animal that it takes a long enough time to process them that you couldn't have, a half a cow or a half a pig hanging outside in 30-degree weather, for an hour even. I mean, it would just be covered in flies. So, and you don't have to let that stuff hang. You can process it right away, but you'd never be able to be quick enough to process the whole animal quick enough before something would be happening to the stuff that you're not working on at the time. So we usually only let our stuff hang overnight. I like it to be cool enough out that it stiffens up overnight and is cool enough and stiff enough the next day that it's easier to work with. The last thing you want to do is really have to work with, this big slab of meat that's like jello, right? It's nice once it sets up, it becomes stiff, rigor mortis or whatever you want to call it has set in, and the meat is nice and cool and easy to cut. You get nice clean cuts on. So that's what we do. So for us, it's like we said, we have to wait until it's cool enough to be able to process our pig and cow, because we usually do one of each every year, and it's usually sometime in the fall that we do both of those. So the pig, it ends up being, it could be up to 300 pounds sometimes even, because it all depends on the size of the piglet that we bought in the spring and what time of the spring that we bought the piglet at, and how soon in the fall that it starts to cool down. Just to give you an example, if you buy a really small piglet, late in the spring, well, obviously, it's going to take a lot longer to grow than if you buy a big piglet early in the spring. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why it totally depends. And every year it's different, right? We try and buy from the same guy every year, but it doesn't always work out that way. So kind of every year is different, right? As to what size of piglet you end up getting. So obviously the end result is kind of different too. So yeah. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question.
I think I did about, what, 700 pounds when you go?
Yeah, we got a steer. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for chiming in on the comments. This is great. But yeah, we have a steer that we've been raising. I don't know if you guys would remember, but we had a yearling heifer that was bred at like 5 months old. Obviously, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't planned, but anyway, she got bred at like 5 months old. So she ended up having a calf at like 14 months old. And because she was small, the calf was runty. The calf came out like, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds. Anyway, we didn't put him on the truck. We didn't ship him. We ended up keeping him. And that he would have been born.
Yeah, just a year.
Yeah, just over a year ago, he would have been born. So we held him back last fall. Obviously, he was not. He was only like maybe, yeah, if 300 pounds. So we ended up keeping him, knowing that that was going to be eventually our own meat. So he is the one that we plan on doing up this fall, and he is still tiny. He will be about the same size this fall as the calves that were just born a couple months ago, when we wean them and ship them. So yeah, he'll be, in that 600 to 700 pound range, and yeah, so we plan on doing him up also this fall, probably more in October, and yeah. So that's the plan with our beef, because as of right now, we are pretty much out of burger, which really sucks. So. Oh yes, we did pick up. We did pick up a brand new grinder. We got it from Cabela's. It's called the Carnivore. It is the 1 horsepower with reverse. It weighs 75 pounds. It's a huge beast. We've always, up until this point, have always just used a little KitchenAid. It's like a 1/4 horsepower or something. I don't know. It's really tiny. It did, I don't know. It did what, like a pound a minute? I don't know. It was retardedly slow. But we paid $100 for it from Canadian Tire, and we did a few deer with it. We've done a couple cows, pigs, and it served its purpose, and it was good. But when we originally bought that grinder, we didn't want to invest hundreds of dollars into a good grinder and then find out that we didn't want to process our own meat. So we bought that grinder years and years and years ago. So like I said, we spent $100 on it, and we wanted to try it out. So we didn't want to go too deep into it. And like I said, it served its purpose. It was a good little grinder. And we ended up selling, we paid $100 for it years and years ago. I just sold it actually about a month or so ago for $50. So it didn't owe us anything. Like I said, we put, I don't know how many cows through it, a couple pigs, and a couple deer. So, sorry, I gotta sneeze. Oh, I hate that. Anyway, hopefully it's not the coronavirus. If so, this might be it, but no, it's not. Anyway, I shouldn't even talk. Hey, BCP Farm and Trucking, how's it going, man? If you guys haven't checked out BCP, man, you got to go. You're missing out. You got to go and check this guy out. Him and his wife are farming out west, and man, I have been enjoying your videos. I literally have not missed one. I don't comment on your guys' videos because I watch them on my TV. I have a 60-inch TV. I've got like a 6-inch laptop. No, like, I don't know, whatever. They're 15 inches. I'd much rather watch your guys' videos on the 60-inch TV than on my stupid laptop. And of course, on the TV, I can't comment. I've said this before, but I'm watching your guys' videos. I am with you. I just don't comment because of that. Okay. Anyway, BC, how's it going, man? Glad you stopped by. And everything is going good with us. Yeah. But yeah, so the grinder that we were using, it was good. So we haven't used this new grinder. Like I said, we just picked it up. It came Purelator about a month ago, and we haven't had anything to process through it yet. But we are definitely looking forward to using it this fall on the pig and the cow. You guys could look at it, check it up, look it up, check it out if you want on Cabela's website. We ended up getting it on sale. I think it was regular $650 on for $550, and then we also got it during the free shipping, so that worked out good. Purelated right to our door, and it was awesome. So look forward to using that because if I'm not mistaken, it does. Do you remember what it does? How many pounds a minute?
Like 7 or something.
No.
Oh, a minute. Is it 13 or something, or 15? Or
Maybe 15 pounds a minute or something like that. A minute. 15 pounds a minute. That's a lot. That's a lot. Anyway, that's like 900 pounds an hour. That's 900 pounds an hour. So we went from doing like a pound a minute, if that. So like 60 pounds.
Really forcing it.
Yeah, and that was like really forcing it. Oh, and actually, sorry, I'm lying. We actually ended up borrowing my brother-in-law's. He had the exact same little KitchenAid grinder, so we had 2 of those little grinders going, and it would take us hours upon hours to do like a pig or a beef. So it was brutal. So we're really looking forward. Jess is just looking it up there. I'll give you guys the actual specs on it.
It's on sale right now.
Oh, it's on sale right now for $549.99. It's the 1 horsepower. We were going to get the 3/4 horsepower, but it didn't have the reverse feature on it. The 1 horsepower did, so we ended up going with the 1 horse.
11 to 13 pounds per minute.
11 to 13 pounds per minute. So that's pretty crazy, guys. That's a lot of meat. Like it pretty much, from what I understand and watching some videos on it, it pretty much takes everything you can give it. So as fast as you can put it down the throat of the machine, it's spitting it out. So anyway, we look forward to really using that. And you know what? I think we'll probably end up doing a video when we do dig it out of the box and yeah, if we get a camera. Just started hanging. It's not looking good. I better tell the wife to stop. Oh my goodness. Yes. On a big screen, you would see everything. Yeah. Oh man, you guys are funny. Yeah, I did see your video. You were digging out the balers there. Those are some nice looking balers you got. Do you store those outside all year? Man, around here that would kill people. Everybody stores their baler inside. Swathers not so much, but the balers. Oh man, that's like a crime around here. Anyway, no, that's I really liked your fencing series too. I watched every one of those. That was quite the slick rig there that you had with the rope for tightening up the wires. I really liked that actually. It seemed like a really good tool. All your equipment stored outside. Wow. Oh, well, just the way she goes, I guess. But yeah, those are some nice looking balers. I really like really like those ones, man. Sounds like quite a bit of technology too on the one. The one doesn't sound too bad with just the one monitor that shows the bars going up the side. But the other one sounds a little more in depth. My old baler there, she's just manual time, man. You just once you got a bale made, you just reach behind you, grab the twine or grab the rope, pull the tire across, and you do it all by hand, and then you give her a good snap at the end there to cut it. But anyway, it's gets me through. Okay, you got your square baler. See, that's actually one thing I have to store outside because of the size of it. But what I do with it is I tarp the main area of it with all the knotters and that. I keep that all covered. Because if you don't, holy lifting. Once that chrome on the bills and that start getting any rust on them, man, you fight with it. That's right. As long as it works. That's right. Doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it works. Just like somebody was saying this year about the hay. You don't got to eat it, the cows do. So that's right. I don't really care what I put up for hay. No, I do, but I understood what they were saying. What's that? I do like my cows, yeah. And I do want to put up quality stuff, but
Mainly for the horses, though.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure for the horses. You guys know how much I love horses. Yeah. And that was quite the story you were talking about your finger. Oh my goodness. I was pretty good right up to the last point there where you're talking about the rod coming out of your finger there and leaving a hole and then you packed her full of grease. Oh my goodness. That was oof. I was glad I didn't watch that while I was eating lunch one day. None of my stuff. Well, your stuff is new compared to what I'm running. All your stuff is made in the 2000s anyway.
Do you have anything?
No, nothing of mine is in the 2000s. I got a 73 tractor. What is it? An 88?
Round baler?
98 was the Swather?
Oh, I don't know.
Swather might be a 98.
No, it's gotta be older than that. No.
88 maybe. And then the baler it'd be 30 years old.
The square baler?
Yeah, the square baler. Oof. Yeah, I don't even know when the square baler. The square baler is a Massey 38, I believe. Square baler. 96 is my oldest. Oh, what I would do for a 96. Oh man. What I'd do for a tractor that had a cab and AC. What I'd do with a tractor just with a cab.
I tried to buy an umbrella.
I don't want to be that guy though that bounces around with a flipping umbrella. I get made fun enough around here. Oh man, they don't call you Mennonite Mike for nothing. Anyway, oh man. No, I was telling everybody earlier there that our hay crop sucks. I just finished haying, finished round baling yesterday. I finished on Sunday, and we ended up no problem. Skog man, thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk with you later. But yeah, we ended up with 472 bales this year off the same amount of acreage that we got over 900 bales, 900 round bales last year. So yeah, we're sitting between that, well, probably right around the 55% range. So absolutely sucked. Lucky enough for us, we only needed about 400 bales. We always try and keep about 50 or so over that for waste and bedding and all that kind of stuff. And you never know when you're going to have to start feeding and how long feeding's going to go. So we always like to have some extra. So when we ended up with 472, we said, you know what, on this bad of a year for us, let's call her quits and we're going to just keep her at that. So that's we ended up not selling any hay, which really hurt us this year, but it is what it is. Well, you know what? Starting on an open stage, you end up appreciating what you end up getting later on in life. Once you get that tractor with the AC, man, you remember the good old days, and you look at your neighbor who's not so lucky and see him over there breathing in all the dust and sweating, and you just laugh.
Just getting seagull poop.
Yeah. Oh man, I just about got bombed this year. Seagull took a great big crap when I was cutting hay there on Sunday and just turned my nice green hood all white. Anyway, I was glad it didn't land on me, so that was the main thing. I won't be doing almost all my hay. What do you mean? You're gonna get somebody else to do them? Your swather seemed like it had been a little bit banged up there. That's always unfortunate when you end up finding. Oh, I see, nothing there. Oh, I got you. You guys are in the same boat as us then. Nothing grew this year. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we put the same amount of fertilizer on the fields, and we even harrowed the fields this year in the spring, just trying to break up that matting, but nothing seemed to help. I think we didn't get the rain at the right time, and then we got 3 weeks of 30-degree weather, and just everything that was there ended up getting burnt up. And the Timothy, what didn't seem too bad this year, but then we ended up having a ton of skippers early on, so they came through and ate everything up. So not much you can do. But yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, it does suck. But there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's all part of farming, I guess. You get what you get. Some years are good. Last year we had a bumper crop. This year, the exact opposite. So it is what it is. But here's hoping for next year, I guess, right? So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to head out of here. So thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for chatting. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as it did this time to do a live. And like I said, hopefully in the next few days here, we can get a new camera ordered. And hopefully we start putting out some new videos for you guys. So yeah, thanks for sticking with us and watching our stuff and hanging around. So till next time, guys, see you later. Ciao.